You might also get a question like this: implement a click on to-do item as fast as possible. And as you can see here inside index.html, we have such markup. So we have a UL list, and inside we just have li elements. So typically you can solve it differently. And here we have two typical solutions, but one is much better than another. So actually what we can do here, we can find all our items with document, and here we're using query selector all. And here, as you can see in our index.html, we have li with class item. So here I can find by class our item, and here we're getting a list of our items. After this, we can loop through this list of DOM nodes, and for every single element we can attach a listener. So here we can write items.forEach. Here we have our item, which is a DOM node, and inside we can write item.addEventListener. Here we have our click event, and here is our handler. So what we want to do when we're clicking on the item, at least write some text regarding our item. And actually inside we have just a value. This is why we can write here you clicked on item, and here we can just write plus item.innerText. So first of all, we found the list of our items, and then for every single item in the loop, we added event listener. Let's check this out. I'm reloading the page. We see our list of items. Now we're clicking on one item, and we're getting nice console log with the content of this item. We're clicking on another, and we're getting console log. And actually it is working, and it is all fine, but we have a task to build it as fast as possible. And actually here the problem is, if we have a super huge list, then it's not performant enough. Because actually here we have for each for all our items, which means if we have here a list of 1000 items, we are adding here 1000 listeners. And this is super bad for our performance. This is why this is not the best solution for our task. What we can do, we can find the parent of our list. And as you can see here, we have UL with class to-do-app. This is why here let's find app element, and we can use here document query selector, and we know that the class is our to-do app. Now inside we can attach just a single listener for our app element. So app, add event listener, here we have our click, and here is our listener. And I'm writing here event, so we have access to our event. And actually what we want to do inside, we want to check what element we are targeting, because we can click here on our container, or we can click on any item inside. And actually we're interested on the clicking on the item. This is why here we can write OK if we have here event target, which means we clicked, and we want to check here if our event target has a class of the item. Then this means that we hit our li. This is why here we can write event target dot class list, and here contains. So actually class list property inside DOM node has a function contains to check if we have such class. In our case, we are checking if we clicked on our item. If this is done, then we can copy our console log here inside and just change it a little bit. So we're leaving here our string you clicked on item, and here instead of item.innerText, we can write event.target.innerText, and it will work exactly the same. Let's check this out. I'm reloading the page, I'm hitting here on some items, and we're getting nice you clicked. And actually if we will click somewhere outside, it doesn't do anything. But the main difference is this code is much faster, because we have here just a single listener for our parent, and we're not generating hundreds or thousands of listeners for every single item.